First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody, and I'd like to welcome everybody to my tribe's traditional landscape. This was the home of the Mandans.
George Custer is, without a doubt, a controversial character in North Dakota's history. And for many of us, our formal education about George Custer was framed within lessons of westward migration, conquering the wilderness, and manifest destiny. What's often been missing in these lessons is the effect of those ideas on the people who already inhabited these lands. We're fortunate to have with us today a group of Native American scholars who came to share with us a broader perspective of the history of General Custer as it relates to the Indian tribes in the Great Plains.
My name is Gerard Baker. I'm a Hidatsa Mandan, also enrolled with the three tribes in Fort Berthold Reservation. The Native Voices panel is Tamara St. John, Donovan Sprague, Kelvin Grinnell, Lauren Yellowbird Sr., and Dakota Goodhouse. And I'm very proud of the fact that from our traditional standpoint, traditional Hidatsa way, I have two grandsons sitting up here. And my grandsons are Lauren Yellowbird and Kelvin Grinnell. So they know that I have all rights to tease them. So we'll leave it at that.
We can tease you back.
You're not supposed to talk to your grandpa like that, you know that.
As tribal people, we have our own heroes, our historical figures, and it's our goal to take control of our cultural history by telling that story and to include the names of those individuals.
I preserve the history, and in the academic world, I've even, opened some doors for the use of like these winter counts, because they would say, well, which book is that in if you're talking about that? Where is that documented? Well, okay, here's the winter count right here, and this drawing here represents that, the events of that.
I think this is very good that we have this opportunity to say our piece, our share of this history, because it's very important. A lot of good has come from this, and I appreciate the organizers of this event to ask us to have our say, and you'll hear our viewpoint.
You know, I didn't really grow up with the language as much. I had to work at it. You know, some things you have to work at. And I thought about that, you know, and one word, I always say this, one word that really sticks in my head was a word they say, in Arikara we say, shuk te gao. Can you guys say that? Shuk te gao. That means shut the door. So I guess I had a habit of leaving the door open when I ran outside. So I knew that, you know, that was those words, they'll come at you all the time, you know, you hear these things. And, but knowing that part of the history, you know, I truly grew up after a while. I was embarrassed. I didn't want to tell people my last name. I traveled, I went to school in Oregon, I went all over in the military, all this stuff, but it took a while to learn my own humility, to understand that we do have a culture that's still vibrant and that people need to know about.
Friends and relatives, my name's Dakota Goodhouse, and my name back home is Two Wars, and I grew up in 48, and I live here now in Heart River, and last thing I want to say in Lakota, Igamugaleshka Nungcha, Washtewalake. So my relatives might be puzzled by this. So this is the funny thing about speaking Lakota in a contemporary sense. Igamu is a cat. Galeshka is a spotted. Nungcha is very hard of hearing, and that music is what I like. So it sounds funny to say it like that in English, but I like listening to Def Leppard.
So that time period when George Custer came through here, and later on when he took his little trip to Little Bighorn, that was difficult times. One thing we have to do as an audience, I really believe in today, especially in these heritage areas, is we need to learn how to listen. And there's many things that we can listen to. Obviously, we listen to the stories. We listen to the stories on both sides. Listen to that wind. Listen to the river. Listen to the voices of the past that were up here. If we do that, we'll have a lot better future. Thank you.